So the way we think, people don't really think about how important that is. They blame their circumstances on other people and other things outside of themselves, and things that are out of their control as the reason why their life is a mess or their finances are a mess. And I was guilty of that too, actually. And then I started, coming to the realization that it was just me, but I couldn't really figure out like what it was about me, like what it was that was holding me back. I knew what I needed to do. I just wasn't doing it. So, I'm still working on it. I'm a work in progress. That's why I'm reading this book, right? We all got something to work on. So I'm working on it actively. So in the concept of it was the concept of the inner creating the outer and not the vice versa, right? And that's when it kind of hit me like that it's the way you think, right, that causes your circumstance, that your outer circumstance is just a printout. It's just a result of your inner circumstance. And your inner circumstance being the way that you think. And what most people will focus on is they treat the symptom and not the cause. That was kind of a profound concept to me, because I know, I see a lot in our society. I see that a lot in our society. Like when I read that, I thought about it, and I was like, yo, people do that all the time, all the time. They focus on trying to fix a problem, and they call it a problem, but it's really the symptom of an underlying problem. All right, so like people say, like, homelessness is a problem, or cancer is a problem, affordable health care is a problem, debt is a problem, crime and violence is a problem, financial issues, that's a problem. All of those things are actually symptoms of what's going on underneath, right? So everybody looks at the surface level stuff, and they try and fix that. They try to fix that. They try to put a band-aid over it, and then they wonder why it doesn't work. It's like if your car battery keep going dead, right? And you keep you keep replacing the battery. You keep replacing the battery keep going dead, you keep replacing the battery. You thinking the battery is a problem when really it could be what? A bad alternator, right? Or some other electrical problem. The battery draining is a symptom of, of a bad alternator, which, is the real underlying problem, right? A draining battery and your car cutting off is a symptom of the underlying problem. So the alternator is the cause, the battery drain is the effect, right? Gun control is another thing, right? It's like what is gun control? It ain't the guns that's gonna, sprout legs out the blue, get up and arm itself with bullets and go out here and start shooting people, right? It's not the guns. You know what I mean? It's the people. It's the people that do that. And so it's the bad mental programming within the people that is the root cause of the gun violence, which is the effect. Wow. Really? Yeah. Right. Now, I have my own thoughts about, cancer as well. Maybe other people do, but what I do know is that cancer is not the problem. Right? Cancer didn't just sprout up out the blue. Cancer is a symptom of an underlying problem. The growing rate of cancer is a symptom of an underlying problem. Right? And in my opinion, and in the opinion of many others, these companies that are making these products that we use every day, that we put in our skin and our hair, in our mouths every day, they're using too many toxic chemicals. They're using too many toxic chemicals just to boost their profits because those ingredients are cheaper, right? That's what they're doing. And then we're paying the price for it in the form of, people getting sick, the increasing cost of healthcare. In America, we spend more money on healthcare than any other developed nation. Yet, our life expectancy is number 30 on the list. There's 30 other countries ahead of us where the people live longer than we do. Yet we pay more for healthcare than anybody else. Doesn't make any sense. Don't make any sense. Yeah, everyone is focused on, healthcare reform, thinking that's the problem, right? When it's really only the symptom of an underlying problem, which is poor nutrition and more chemicals being introduced into the products that we put on our face, the products that we put in our skin and in our mouths and in our hair, right? The products that we put under our arms, all over our bodies, right? So and that's just the personal hygiene products as a whole, I think is just they have it's trace amounts of these chemicals that these companies are being allowed to put in our products, and they're saying well, it's just trace amounts. Yeah, but over a lifespan of a person, and a person use those products every single day for years and years, like over time, like the body builds up toxicities, right? And who knows the science behind it, what these things get into our blood, and then you got rising cancer rates. It's no coincidence that as the years go by, as we become more technologically advanced, that cancer rates rise. There's got to be some correlation there. Like, it's not, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see this, right? It's not hard to tell. So, and that's actually one of the things that I'm actively playing a part in trying to change, right? Financial issues, debt. Debt is a problem. Nah, it's a symptom of a problem. It's a symptom of a problem. It's the result or the cause, and more often than not, that cause is not from a lack of resources. There's plenty of that, especially in America. There's plenty of that, right? It's not a lack of opportunity. There's plenty of that. Plenty of that in America. Financial issues is a symptom of the way you think, and that's a part that that resonated with me like a whole lot. The way you think is your mindset, and the way you think, that's actually primarily a result of the information or the programming that's being put into your mind throughout all of the years that you actually received as a child, right? So a lot of times you don't even have no choice. Like they say, brainwashing. Well, the worst form of brainwashing is being raised to think a certain way, because you don't even know that you're thinking that way. Like, you're unconscious about it. And I talked about that in one of my last videos. You don't even know that you've been programmed to think a certain way. And the programming that we receive from our parents, our siblings, friends, authority figures, teachers, religious leaders, the media, our culture, right? That's a big thing with us too. Our culture, that definitely defines and helps with the programming that goes into our minds, right? And so we start thinking a certain way. Cultural programming is the reason why, people who grow up in the hood dress, act, and talk different than people in upper middle class America. You take a group of kids, from the hood, and put them in a room with a group of kids that grew up in Beverly Hills. It's gonna be a world of difference between the way they act, the way they talk, the way they dress, the way they think. And so then it said, the programming led to thoughts, thoughts led to feelings, feelings led to actions, and actions led to results. And that's huge, because what most people do is they see the results they're getting and they don't like their results, and they may not be making enough money at their job. Maybe they keep getting sick, maybe they keep getting into bad relationships, or their businesses keep failing, the businesses don't work out, and they see the results, and instead, and I'm guilty of this too. I'm guilty of this too, and that's why I'm working through it. That's why I'm talking it out. So I'm gonna say we. So we see the results. We don't like the results, and instead of looking within ourselves to see what the root cause of those results are, we'll start blaming things outside of ourselves for it. Oh, my partner didn't step up. Oh, my bank wouldn't give me give me a big enough loan. My job won't give me a raise. They won't promote me. They cut back my hours. So and so hating on me. Such and such don't like me, and that's why this and that, and on and on and blah blah blah. Right? Keep meeting the wrong people. These guys are trash. These girls are trash. Ain't no more good guys out here or good girls out here. Looking at everything but yourself, looking at everything outside of you or outside of ourselves, when it's really programming that's at the root of it all. And I've heard people say stuff like, money, save your money for a rainy day. Money don't grow on trees. Money doesn't buy happiness. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. We can't afford it. Everybody's heard that, and the thing is that's all lack thinking. That's all lack thinking that doesn't serve us well. And so it's like we have to throw that junk out. We got to throw that mess out. Right, and start rewriting the narrative. We got to reprogram our minds to think in abundance and not limited thinking. That's what we got to do. We got to reprogram our mind and literally start putting good, replacing the bad with the good. Putting good, positive, abundant filled thinking and philosophies inside our minds by actually saying that stuff to ourselves, by actually saying it aloud. Because we've heard this lack and limited thinking for so long that the only way that we can really reprogram our minds is for us to tell ourselves these positive affirmations, because other people ain't telling us that stuff.